a 5-day nutrition program, which has started off from more of like the mindset around nutrition, like how you should build consistency. Hi, I'm just going to wave to everyone on Instagram. So we've gone through a lot over these last 5 days, and what I'm planning to do in this last video is just to try and wrap everything up and just sort of say like what is the next thing that you should be doing with like your nutrition. What on earth is this filter? Sorry. Oh my god, I feel so daft. Right, cool. I think that filter's gone. It was the Charlie XCX Brat filter. Sorry. Right, let's focus. Right, so so this is the last part now. We've covered a lot over the last 5 days. Like I say, we've spoken about everything around like the mindset around nutrition and how you should see it as a long-term thing, not just a short-term fix, looking for quick wins. Yes, you will get quick wins, but we want to see it as a long-term thing. So that was day one, talking around nutrition for the mindset for your nutrition. The second thing was talking about calories and the importance of knowing your calories. And again, I think a lot of people have got quite a bad relationship with calories or a bad sort of mindset towards calories. But ultimately, it's what matters. It's like if you wanted to save up for something financially, whether you have a bad relationship with money or not, it matters. The amount of money, similar to the amount of calories that you have, it matters. Okay, so so on day 2 we spoke about calories and like the amounts that you should be having. Day 3 we spoke about how to track your calories and going through different ways you could do it, from like a beginner level to a more I won't say advanced, but maybe like a more in-depth level. Day 4, we spoke about fueling your body for your sessions, for fitness, for strength, and also we spoke about recovery as well. And now today is going to be about what to do next. And I will say, if you are watching this on Instagram and you don't know what I'm talking about, if you comment below, just put nutrition program, I'll send you the full 5 days so you can then catch up with it then fully. So, what to do next? Now you have all of this information. Ultimately, you want to make sure that you are starting, step 1, by the way. Ultimately, you want to make sure that you are starting small, really small, and we want to build consistency. So change doesn't happen overnight, and it's important not to take too much on too soon. The key to lasting success is making small, manageable changes. That's what we want to do. I think, again, I use this analogy of like, when you've been on holiday and you see a photo of yourself and you're not too happy with it and you're like, right, I'm going to change everything. I'm going to change all my diet. I'm going to train 5 times a week. I'm going to walk 10,000 steps every single day, blah, 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 blah. You say you can do all these things. You probably do them for 1 or 2 days, maybe you're 5 days at the most, but then you drop everything because you just can't sustain it. It's not sustainable to do that. So you have to make one really small change. It's like when you come into the gym. And again, I use this same analogy. If you start off and you're just using the barbell, we're not going to stack a load of weight on it. You build strength with that one weight, and then time over time, you add a little bit more weight on, then a little bit more weight on. But you do that whilst doing really good form. It's the same thing with this. You start really small, and then over time, you develop it once you get better at it, okay? So again, whether it's like swapping out like sugary drinks for water, or just adding a few more veggies into your meal to make you feel fuller, or just being more mindful of your portion sizes, whatever you choose to do, the important thing is to just start really, really small. So my first point here is start small and get confident with it and build consistency. So my tip here is this: pick one small habit to work on, focus on that, write it down, make that your priority. So if we were talking really specific and you wanted to then start, even if this week's task was just, I want to know what my calorie intake is, go onto your InBody. If you haven't got the InBody app where you can track your body fat, your weight, and your muscle, come and book in for a one-to-one with one of the trainers, and like we can do it all for you. It's really easy to do. You got it all on an app, so it's super convenient. But just pick one small thing. Even if that one small thing is, right, this week I'm just going to find out what my calorie intake is. Next week it could be like, right, I am just going to track one meal this whole week. The following week could be, right, I'm going to track 2 meals this week. And the good thing there is that if you eat the same foods day in, day out, which I would say a lot of people do, then tracking calories can be quite easy that way as well. So yeah, start small, build consistency, and make that one thing a habit before you start adding too many other things in, okay? The second point here, and this is really important, is to prioritize accountability. Now, when I say prioritize accountability, what I mean is come and book in for a one-to-one goal set and review session with one of the trainers here at Benchmark. Book in for one of them. Come and speak to us. Tell us what the one thing is that you want to work on. Because if you think of what the one thing is, we can tell you whether we think that might be too much too soon. But ultimately, you will know the one thing that fits better into your lifestyle. So you commit, book in for a one-to-one. That way we can hold you accountable to making sure that you do it. Now that might sound really intense, but ultimately the way that you're going to see progress is actually being accountable to someone. So being accountable to someone, literally at Benchmark, you can book in to do a one-to-one on Team Up, book it in, come and have a 10-minute chat with us, and then we can be your accountability coach, let's say. So for one, you can be accountable to us, and the second thing is you can be accountable to the inner body. Now, like I say, if you want to see changes with your body composition, if you want to reduce if you want to reduce body fat and you want to increase muscle mass, we need to be knowing what our calorie consumption is, so we can start to work on that and change our body composition, change our weight, how we look, and how we feel. So really important is to prioritize accountability. Book in for a one-to-one, come and ask us for help, and then we can help you. And then when you come into the sessions, like all the trainers I do it, and right now they're doing like a team development meeting right now, going through different ways that we can help you guys. But like often when members come into the gym and I know what their task was for last week, I can ask them about it when they're in the gym. If they come in 3 times that week, there's a possibility they could be asked 3 times. It's great accountability, and that's how you'll start to see results. So now that you've got all the tools and the knowledge from the things that you've gone through over the last 4 days, it's time to go a little bit deeper. Let's create a plan. And the key is to ensuring that we make these changes part of your lifestyle. So book in for a one-to-one. This will allow us to give you a bit more tailored advice to the meets that's going to meet your specific needs, and it provides accountability to you guys as well. So if you haven't already, book a one-to-one and let's create a plan together. Simple as that, guys. Simple as that, okay? You might be in your head, you might be thinking, right, I want to track every single calorie and I'm going to do it every single day. And that's just your plan. But we might say, right, well, you've got too much on your plate already. Let's just start smaller. So that's when having the accountability and getting supported by trainers that have got a lot of experience really, really helps. Now, we've spoken a lot about like building consistency, and we've spoken a lot about like making it part of your lifestyle. So that's ultimately what we need to now do. So we need to start tracking your intake in some way, whether that's tracking your calorie intake, your protein intake, which I'd probably say the 2 things you want to sort of talk about, but prioritize. But we talked a lot about tracking calories and macros, but remember, it doesn't have to be all like consuming and time consuming. So literally start by tracking literally just one meal. Like I said earlier, you could track 1 meal for that whole week. The next week, you could track 1 meal each day. And that 1 meal might be the same. Like, for example, if you have overnight oats, which I literally do every single day, then that 1 meal might be the exact same. But if you've used a scoop to weigh out your oats, and you use the digital scales to weigh out like your yogurt or whatever, then like you'll know the calorie intake and you'll know the protein intake. But this will just help you become more aware of what you're eating without getting overwhelmed. And that's what's really important here. We don't want you to get overwhelmed. It's one small step at a time. Like most of our members have yo-yo dieted for years and years and years. That's not what we're about now. We just want to focus on one small thing, make it a habit and make it part of your lifestyle so you can actually sustain it. And again, as a benchmark member, you have the benefit of booking with us every couple of weeks and just getting that support. But like I say, we're going to see you in session, so it gives you that accountability as well. But yeah, so the actionable tip on this step is choose one method of tracking that feels right for you. Come and speak to us about it as well. Whether that's just logging a meal, whether that is tracking your protein intake, whether that's just finding out what your calorie is for right now, let's focus on that and just have that as the priority. Um, I think one thing that I would say that would really help because of the intensity that we do train at, and when I say the intensity that we do train at, what I mean is the intensity that like we train. Sorry, I was just checking my internet's working. The intensity that we train you at is obviously tailored to you. But what I would try and focus on is making sure that you are fueling yourself the right way for your training. Now you might find that you are already fueling yourself really well for your training, and that's fantastic. But if you feel like you're struggling a little bit, or you feel like you're not quite going up enough in weights, or you feel like you want to give a little bit more when it comes to the cardio part, the amount of carbs you're eating especially is going to help. And then also looking at the amount of protein that you're having as well. So making sure that you're having, I've forgotten the exact number, but it's about, I think it's about 1.2 grams per kilogram. That sounds about right. But your InBody will tell you this. Your InBody app will tell you. But what I'm saying here is that my fourth point in all of this summary is it would be useful to look at if you are fueling yourself well enough for your performance in the gym with carbs, and whether you are fueling yourself, helping you fueling your body well enough for recovery as well with protein. And a really simple way you could do this is literally just having like a protein shake after each session. Now, there's not to say that there is this there is this amazing golden 20 minutes where it's going to make a big difference. It's not. But by just having a protein shake after your workout, it is literally 25-30 grams of protein there. It adds it straight into your diet, and it just helps you whilst you're getting home, whilst you're making your way home, before you go and have a meal as well then. And I think, do you know what? I think what's really, really, I'm going to wrap up with this now. So, but what I think is really, really important out of all of this is that you are patient with yourself. Now, what is also really important is that you track your actual weight right now. Find out what your body fat is, find out what your weight is, find out what your muscle mass is. Let's actually find out what that is right now. And then that way we've got a benchmark, we've got a starting point for going forwards. So you might already be getting results, but you don't know if you're not tracking your weight. And if you're just tracking your weight at home and you're just doing it randomly and sporadically, then you're going to probably see random and sporadic results. We need to be structured with it. Okay? So really brief summary now to summarize the summary. Book in for, decide on the, make sure you've watched all 4 videos for one. Book in to do, sorry, make sure you've watched all 4 videos of the nutrition program this week. Decide on what the one thing is that you want to start working on, and then book in for a one-to-one. Let's talk about it. Let's do your InBody, and then let's start to give you a bit of accountability to then work towards it, and it's going to really help with your body composition goals. Okay? Again, if you have any questions at all, thank you very much for watching as well on Instagram. If either of you have any questions at all, then message us, WhatsApp us, whatever's easiest for you guys. Okay? Really appreciate your time. Have a fantastic day, and I will see you very soon.